I was oh look, I wait for the recording to start to then ask you questions.
Cool.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for a special conversation. We are talking about going to Brazil on a Black History travel experience with Sankofa Experiences. How are y'all doing this evening? Let me know if you've been to Africa or not. Give me a 0 in the comments. If you haven't, give me a 1 in the comments. If you have, and you can definitely let us know where. And let me know where you're watching from, all of that good stuff, right? I'm in the south suburbs of Chicago, Illinois right now. So I appreciate y'all joining us. I want to kind of get right into the festivities, right? All right, so Rhonda and Stephanie say they haven't been. Okay, Egypt. All right, I love it. I love it. All right, well, today we are focusing on Brazil, right? So this may not be in Africa, but this is part of the African diaspora, and there's a lot of powerful and important history there in Brazil that's going to shed insight on the continent and really the Africans in the diaspora in general. As you know, Brazil has the largest Black and African population in the Americas, right? I believe it's 135 million Afro-Brazilians, right? So really interesting fact, but a lot of good history and culture down there. So that's what we're going to explore today. Let me bring up my screen and dive into our opening, and then we'll get into the deeper discussion and talk about your opportunity to come with us um, on these adventures, right? These Black History travel adventures. Let's see. Did I get that right? Yes. All right, so you should be able to see my screen. Give me a yes in the comments if you can see that. All right, Milwaukee is here. All right, Charleston, South Carolina, Senegal, the Gambia, and Ghana. I love it. I see Ghana in there. Senegal, Gambia, Egypt, Morocco. All right, we've been busy. We've been moving around the continent. I love it. All right, yes, yes, yes. You can see my screen. Good. Let me just dive into this, get into our formalities. But first, let's open up with a quick overview. Here we go. Or a quick thought.
You know that feeling when your soul recognizes a place. I never understood it until my trip to Ghana with Sankofa Experiences. Standing on the shores of Cape Coast, something in me just clicked, like my DNA remembered what my mind never knew. These aren't typical vacations. They're journeys back to ourselves. When you walk through those ancient doorways in Egypt or feel the rhythm of drums in Ghana, you start to piece together parts of you that were scattered by histories. And I've traveled to lots of places, but nothing hits like Africa. The way people welcome you, the food that somehow tastes familiar, the land that feels like it's been waiting for you. Like I came back different, more grounded, more whole, like I'd found pieces of myself I didn't even know were missing.
And that's the feeling that we get inside of these experiences and traveling the African diaspora, right? So we want to make sure that you have that feeling or that experience as well. For those of you that have gone to the continent or had a Black History travel experience, is that the feeling that you've got? Give me a me in the comments when you start to learn and reconnect with our roots. Just let me know your thoughts
You know that feeling
in the comments
when you're
on that. But hey, who's talking to you? My name is Freddie Taylor. I'm the CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals. And we make it fun and easy to learn Black history. That is our focus. That is our mantra. And that is our promise. Black history is our life, right? I would say that about the company. But we've had an opportunity to talk about it at LexisNexis, Santa Clara, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Amazon, NPR, All Black National Convention, and more. The story of Urban Intellectuals and my story started almost 100 years ago with the young man behind me in this photograph. And that's my father, right? So in this picture, he's 87. Well, this was our first time in Africa, but he was born in 1929, almost 100 years ago. And it's really he who instilled the importance of Black history and culture in me. So I like to say that the company and the movement started almost 100 years ago. The truth is, the company started in 2015. So we are 9 years old in business. December will be our 10th year in business, and we're really excited about that. Anybody ever seen our Black History flashcards? I would imagine most of you are in our ecosystem and have seen our Black History flashcards before, but this was this is still the flagship product, right? Here at Urban Intellectuals. There's 6 in the series now, the 6 volumes in the series now. But since we started, we sold over 500,000 decks, 200,000 plus customers, all 50 states, 64 countries around the world, and it's growing, right? And we've been growing this movement. Here's a good overview. This is a news interview we did here in Chicago. Gives you a good insight into the company and what we've been.
CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals. Good morning, Freddie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for being with us. First, tell us about Urban Intellectuals. What is this?
Our Urban Intellectuals makes it fun and easy to learn Black history. That is our mission. That is our core responsibility. And we created a suite of Black history products and services designed to rewrite the narrative about Black and African people in the world.
Obviously very important. How'd you come up with the idea for Urban Intellectuals?
Oh, I love to say that it started almost 100 years ago because my father's 95 years old. He's still alive, born in 1929, but he instilled in me the importance of understanding our history and our culture and the pride and respect that it instills inside of us. And while my children were matriculating through the school district, I couldn't believe that the limited discussion about the contributions to humanity that Black people have made were minuscule at best. And I kept thinking somebody should do something. Somebody should do something. In 2016, I became somebody.
You were the somebody that did something, right? And typically, probably the conversations were in February.
Yes, typically centered around February, centered around the same 8 to 12 people every single year, which no disrespect to them and their contributions, which is amazing, but there's so much more glorious.
A lot more. Okay, so you've got a very cool product.
Thank you.
That kind of makes it fun, right? Makes it fun. Tell me about your flashcards.
Our Black History flashcards feature 52 cards in each deck. There's actually 6 in the series, so we have
6 volumes.
6 volumes in the series.
Cards,
so we're really expanding the conversation centered around Black and African contributions to humanity. I like to have that conversation because this is really the story of the world, right? Black history is world history, and too often it's the missing pages of world history. So
and I see on here 1968 Olympics.
Yes.
Bessie Coleman, Black Wall Street. So just all different things to kind of bring it to light.
Bring it to light, and expand the conversation in a easy to understand format. Because on the back of the cards are just simple bullet pointed information about the people. And the first time that you're exposed to it, it just opens your mind and makes you more curious and thirsty for it.
Who are these for?
These are for just about everyone. We have people who are using them with their young children, as young as 18 months, all the way to 95. I'll cap it there with my father's age because most of us aren't exposed to this information, so it's new to all of us.
And you also have playing cards. That's fun.
Yes, so we infuse Black history and culture into everything that we do. So instead of playing with a regular deck of playing cards, we have powerful Black imagery weaved into the playing card deck.
Exposure. What is this? This looks like fun.
Yes.
I don't know how you do a mystery puzzle, though.
You don't know what the finished product looks like, so that's the challenge, but I can tell you there's Black history wrapped up inside.
Sure, okay. Is it all the same, or is every box different?
The future editions will be different. This particular one is the same right now, but as we expand the line, we're definitely going to do more.
Right. And what else? You guys aren't just in the playing card and flashcard business.
Oh, no. We actually have 19 physical products centered around Black history and culture, but we take it a step further, and we have classes that we teach live Black history to children inside of the Sankofa Club. You can see that at sankofaclub.com, and to adults as well inside of our Sankofa Circle. But we don't stop there. We actually take people on Black history travel experiences to Africa and beyond.
That's so great. What do people, how do people, when they come back from something like that, how do they
Oh, you're
Speechless,
totally,
probably.
speechless, totally transformed. Because it's one thing to learn about the history and the culture. It's another thing to go see it and experience it for yourself. Be exposed to the food, the culture, the people. It's just a beautiful conversation. You come back changed.
Yeah, I bet. And you've been on several of these, I presume.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. I really enjoy it. I love watching the people have these experiences and go through these breakthroughs and breaking down the misconceptions about the contributions of Black and African people to the world.
Where can we go for more information about urban intellectuals?
You can go to urbanintellectuals.com, and on all platforms we are Urban Intellectuals.
Okay, perfect. And you got some of these for the month? You're stocked up?
We are stocked up and ready. Got a special.
Yeah, stocked up and ready, right? So that's a good overview of the company and everything that we are about. This was the Sankofa Club, where we teach the live Black history to the children. Inside of there, we got classes for adults as well. There's always a lot going on here at Urban Intellectuals, but I always say didn't show you that to impress you, but to impress upon you that at our core, we are a Black history empowerment company. This is who we are. This is what we've been doing the last 9, almost 10 years. We have been consistent in that. And this opportunity to travel the African diaspora is the result of a great relationship with Brother Jay. I'll bring him up in just a moment so we can dive into the details of this Brazilian trip. But in 2022, this is when we started our Black History Travel Experiences, now called our Sankofa Experiences. And you will notice that word Sankofa kind of drip through everything that we do. But Sankofa is a Twi word out of Ghana that means to go back and get it. So go back and get your history, go back and get your culture, go back and get your knowledge, your wins, your successes, and bring that forward with you into the future. And that's really the essence of what we are about here as a company. So you'll hear Sankofa Experiences, Sankofa Circles, Sankofa Legacy Programs, Sankofa Club, like everything is encapsulated in that ideology around here at Urban Intellectuals. So you'll see that again woven into everything that we do. So when I talk about the Sankofa Experiences, like this was our inaugural trip going to Egypt in October of 2022, I had a beautiful time on this Sankofa experience. But since then, we've taken on 10 African countries on 36 trips for 425 travelers on these life-changing experiences. And now we are expanding beyond that to go into Brazil, right? So this will be our inaugural trip into Brazil that we're going to talk about here in just a moment. But why travel with Sankofa Experiences? Because of the feeling, right? The feeling that you get with traveling. Here is 95.
Okay, so my first question to you is, what's your most vivid memory of our travels to Africa, and what stands out most to you?
To Ghana.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, we've been to Ghana, and we've been to Egypt.
Yeah,
and we've been to Morocco.
You said first trip to Ghana.
To
Africa.
Your most vivid memory?
Yeah, well, my most vivid memory was when I struck land there in Ghana. Mm-hmm. There was a feeling I had, you know, it's unexplainable. Never been to Ghana before, but in my mind, say, I'm home, home at last. You know, I mean, that's the feeling you get. You know, it's an unforgettable feeling that. Place you ain't never been and you feel so comfortable, all of a sudden there's a bit of freedom amongst you, you know.
Yeah.
That was not unforgettable. When we got to Africa and went to Ghana, and the first thing I felt was that freedom. You know, I ain't never experienced that before. And I think too, you know, what's the Family Feud guy's name?
Which?
Family Feud, what's his name?
Oh, Steve Harvey.
He experienced the same thing. He said when he got to Ghana, he said, just in Detroit, you know, the same feeling, the same walk, everything was so coherent, you know. It said like, hey, I'm in Africa, you know, hey, I'm down in town Detroit or something. Yeah. That's the feeling that you get though, honestly.
Because the people look familiar? Is that the thing?
Oh man, the people look familiar. Well, you know what I'm going to say about the people that look familiar. When we went to Egypt, man, I saw an Angster boy on the walls, man. I don't know how many centuries he'd been there, but he was from Angster.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the familiarity of what you saw. You know, those were some unforgettable moments when Jay said, "Come here and look at this." You know, hey, I know him. Yeah, it was beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
That's my man talking about his experiences, but that's what we get on these travel adventures.
In America, my name is Crystal Taylor. I was born and raised in East St. Louis, Illinois, and currently live in the south suburbs of Chicago. But just now today, I have been given my Ghanaian name of Adwa Mansa. It's Adwa Mansa. Mansa. Adwa Mansa. Mansa. Adwa Mansa. Mansa. And today, when I saw what was going to happen on this trip, I knew that this would be the moment that would break me. Because I wanted to be here for so long. And at 46, I'm finally actualizing this dream. And I feel such a connection, such a warmth and welcome from our African family. And it means so much because in America, we've been taught that we're not liked here, we're not wanted here. But there's been nothing but love and excitement to see us. And today, to be given my name from the village chiefs, I can't explain how it feels. And I can't stop crying because it feels so good. Because I feel so loved here. It feels like home. And I'm just grateful. I'm really glad that I've had this experience. And I just couldn't expect ask anything else.
Yeah, but it's that feeling that you get, like when you come and experience different cultures, and it feels so weirdly familiar to you. That was my wife in the picture, in the video. This is her when we took in the Egypt experience, then we flew across the continent and had the Ghanaian experience there as well. And you might recognize the gentleman in the photograph because this is Mr. Jay Cameron. He is our travel partner and really the glue on the ground that kind of makes these the magic happen. So we always appreciate that, good brother. I want to make sure that I bring him up. But he's been to probably more, no, ain't no probably, more than 25 countries now, y'all. I don't even know. But Jay, we gotta get an updated number.
It's 25. It's 25.
25. That
African.
is. Oh, Ashley is on it. Oh, Ashley is on it. Okay. All right. All right. My bad, Ashley. I doubted your skills, right? You have been keeping them up to date. But this good brother here is really where the wheels meet the ground. And his Maximum Impact Travel Company is our travel partner and how we make these realities come to life. We definitely appreciate this brother. I call him Mr. Africa, but really he's Mr. African Diaspora, right? Because it's much bigger than that. But he's helping us go to Brazil for the first time. So that's where we're going to dig into the details and talk about. Let me turn it over to Mr. J. Camp.
Hey, what's going on, Freddie? Well, as a matter of fact, I'm just getting back to the States from 2 Sankofa experiences over in Ethiopia. You joined me there, and then in Morocco. And so now getting ready to head to Brazil this September. So just to let everybody know, you have some time, a little bit of time, just a little bit of time to catch the inaugural kickoff to this Sankofa experience in Brazil. And as Freddie said a moment ago, this Brazil does have the largest population of people of African descent outside of the continent of Africa. And I tell you, we have it lined up for you. We're talking about 2 big cities in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, and then I think it's one of the black cities in the world, Salvador, in the state of Bahia. And everybody always confuses it. Are we talking about El Salvador in Central America? No, this is Salvador in the state of Bahia, just like you have the state of Illinois What is it, Illinois or Illinois, Freddie?
No S, Illinois.
No S. Yes, I didn't think so. So the state of just like we say the state of Illinois, Chicago in the city is a city in the state of Illinois. Well, then you have Salvador, which is a city in the state of Bahia in the country of Brazil. And so those are two major African influenced cities in Brazil, and that's what's going to be a part of the Sankofa experience. It's coming up September 1st through the 10th, 2025. And your chance to be a part of it is now. And I tell you, if you're thinking it's just now a lot of people, Freddie, they don't know, they think that people in Brazil speak Spanish, when in actuality, it's Portuguese. The Portuguese actually went to Brazil and got everything kicked off with the whole chattel slavery, actually well beyond 400 years ago. It was 500 plus years ago. That's when the Portuguese went into Brazil, and that's what you start to see when we talk about Black history. To leave Brazil out of the conversation is like leaving a major part of our history out of the conversation. And so we're going to be taking everybody to Brazil this coming September. So let's dive into this, Freddie, because I know that folks are interested. It's good to see everybody here, and it's good to see people interested in this discussion. Now, let me take you back a few years. When I went to Brazil, and I just went because I knew that there was more to the story. I, too, like my good friend, Mr. Freddie Taylor Sr., like he said, I went to Ghana. Ghana opened the floodgates, and then I went to another country in West Africa called Benin. And when I went to Benin, they kept talking about the connection with Brazil. And I went to the Portuguese Museum in Benin, and I looked on the walls, and it showed this connection between Brazil. Then I went to Lagos in Nigeria, and they have a whole Afro-Brazilian community. So Brazil just kept coming up over and over again. And I said, what is it about this Brazil? And I decided to go there. My first trip to Brazil was in 2019, right before the pandemic. And when I went, I was stunned because I was walking around, and not only did I find people that looked like people I knew, but then I found somebody who I looked like I was related to, like right here. So we were walking around. Freddie looked like he related to you too, man.
Yeah, we got to be in there somewhere.
I'm looking, and I said, wow. I said, look at this. And so as I was walking around, and I started seeing so many different, and this was in Salvador right here. This was Salvador. And there, actually Michael Jackson, he shot a video years ago. I think it was They Don't Care About Us, something. I think that's the name of the video. And so that was shot in Rio and Salvador. And so when I was in Salvador, I looked and I said, wait a minute, everybody's looking like my relatives. And the only way they thought that I was, or they realized that I was a quote unquote foreigner is because I spoke a different language. They spoke Portuguese, I spoke English. But the sights and sounds there were spectacular. So let's dive into this. We're going to start in Rio. I'll walk you through the itinerary, and then we'll answer some of your questions because I know folks have questions. So we'll get that started. So let's get the party rolling and with the Sankofa experience and take a look at Rio, and then we'll go to Salvador. I'm here live in Rio de Janeiro, and as a part of this travel experience, we want to invite you to see the sights and sounds of South America, but here in this part of the African diaspora, we're here in Rio de Janeiro, and I guarantee you this will be an unforgettable experience as you get to taste the food, the culture, have experiences with the historical aspect of Brazil. That's right, one of the major parts of the African diaspora, and guess what? We want you to join us on this travel experience. All right, that's right. We want you to join us. And so I was right there. As a matter of fact, Rio, I was surprised because, you know, South America has reputations for a lot of different things. By the time you have Carnival and you have all of the stuff that you hear, you get there and you think it's just a party city where they do party. Don't get me wrong. They do party. However, there's a lot of history actually right there in Rio de Janeiro. And that's what I was not anticipating. And then from a food perspective, I know everybody likes food. Well, Rio had well, both of them did, but in particular, Rio had nonstop food options. And there's a dish there called muqueca. All right, muqueca. And I had so much muqueca, I was like, wow. I said, I'm just going to keep eating and eating by the time I'm done here. How much weight am I going to gain in Rio? But the fascinating part about Rio was that the history. And the history in Rio, and I don't want to give too much away because there's a point in going and seeing for yourself. But there were things that I learned in Rio that I just couldn't. I wasn't prepared for. There were things I saw in Rio I just wasn't prepared for. And so, from a historical standpoint, it is really, I believe, it's imperative for people to go. So the whole experience, you arrive in Rio de Janeiro. So just to let you know, this does not include international airfare. So you will arrive on September 1st in Rio de Janeiro. That's GIG. That's what the airport code is. And then, we stay at the Windsor LeMay Hotel, Windsor LeMay. And then Novotel is in Salvador, just to kind of let you know, because people are wondering about what the accommodations are like. Now, here's the cool part about Rio de Janeiro is that you're staying on the Copacabana beach. It's the world famous Copacabana. Yeah, I remember that from back in the day. And it is, when you wake up and you look outside and you just see the beach right there, and then actually you can walk right across the street to the beach, and then you can go, it spans, looks like it's probably about a good 2 miles or so. I could be underestimating it. I was just kind of eyeballing. It's probably more than 2 miles, but you're able to see and walk into so many restaurants and so many shops that are right there along the beachfront. But then even if you go a couple of blocks in, there's so many other shops that you can enjoy. So as a matter of fact, I talked about the food. I went and I had a dish, and this is in Rio. And this dish reminded me of South Carolina. Every time I was born in Charleston, I was raised in D.C., but that Gullah Geechee thing is real. And so there's a certain flavor that's in the low country of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Florida that you really seem to only find there. But then I went to Brazil, and they said, hey, come over here and taste this. And I thought, for some reason, I was right back in South Carolina. All right, I'm here in Rio de Janeiro, and I'm about to get some beans and rice. Y'all know I like that rice and so this is like an authentic experience. Not too much, because there's much more food on the way, and the food experience is something I don't want to miss out on. And so now, going back in the back, This smells like South Carolina. Oh my goodness. It smells like South Carolina. I mean, I feel like I just went back into the low country, all my low country people. Oh man, some hopping jaws. So, that's all I need right here. Okay, that's all I need right here. So, all right, good. This smells. Oh man, it smells good. I'm about to lose my mind. Let me tell you something. It was so good. And it tasted just like South Carolina. I mean, and I was in Rio. And for those who are, wondering whether or not you're going to be able to eat or because sometimes people think, oh, I'm going, leaving the country. Am I going to be able to eat? You will be able to eat, and you'll enjoy all the different options. As a matter of fact, we have a cooking class lined up so that you can make your very own muqueca right there in Rio. And then you're going to do the Little Africa tour. You're going to have an opportunity to visit a favela. I'll walk through the itinerary in a moment. Then we hop down. We catch a short, I don't want to say short. We catch about an hour and some change flight to Salvador. And then from there, We're going to take you to the square in Salvador. You have a chance to learn even more about the intense Afro or African influence. The Yoruba people are very, very strong, actually in both, but in particular in Salvador. And there you get a chance to take some pictures. Here's pictures from the ladies in Brazil. So you get a chance to do that. And that's in Salvador. And sometimes people don't, necessarily, that's how they make their money. That's how they make their money as far as taking pictures. But the interesting thing is that they would not let me tip them. They said, no. I was like, no, here, thank you. Now I understand when you go, they will accept your tips. And they finally, accepted after my insistence. But just to let you know, that's a part of the experience as well. And let's see here. This is some of the cooking experience. Maqueca. So that's again, you'll make your very own buqueca. And then there's going to be a show. So the show is going to be, it's a really fascinating experience. Take a look. All right, like I said, don't want to give you too much. Want to let you know this is just a well-rounded experience. So you get the history, you get the culture, you get the food. Of course, you're going to be able to shop. All right, that's one thing we're going to make sure that you have a chance to do. You're going to get to Sugarloaf Mountain and take pictures atop of Sugarloaf overlooking Rio de Janeiro. You get a chance to go to the Christ Redeemer and overlook Rio de Janeiro as well. Some of the best dining experiences. So it's a variety of foods. You're going to get the traditional flavors of Rio and Salvador, but then you'll also have a chance to eat in restaurants that are very, very familiar. It's again, we think this all the way through, and we continue to bring you these unique experiences. You just don't get dropped off on the ground in Brazil, and then you have to figure it out and all of that. Once you land, we make sure that you're picked up from the airport. You're taken to the hotel, so you don't have to worry about your hotel transfers. We make sure you get back to the airport. And this is actually Brazil is definitely a family friendly experience because from just all of the different aspects of what Rio and Salvador offer, it's like even though they're in the same country, they're different, and you see that. Now, I know you probably saw in those videos where some people might have looked like they were quote unquote native, what we would say is Native American, or that's how we would identify it. But I will tell you that in Brazil, there are 3 groups that are recognized heavily. And so, of course, you're going to have the Portuguese influence because of the colonization that took place. But then you have the African population that is still recognized, the Yoruba people and the different African influences, even from coming in from Angola. But then the indigenous people have a presence that's just as strong. So unlike other parts of I would say northern Americas, you definitely see where the indigenous people have not been erased and their presence is right there, and you have a very unique blending of these cultures. And you see that in Rio, and you also see that in Salvador and many parts of Brazil. You see where the indigenous population still they're right there, and you see the just the way that they kind of live among each other, and it's a very, very fascinating observation to see how it all comes together. So I tell everybody that Brazil is one of my favorite places, because people always ask me, what's your favorite place? I don't have one favorite place, but Brazil is definitely in the top 3 because it offers so much. And when it was time for me to leave, I didn't want to leave, because I was like, wow, I'm continuing to learn, and I'm continuing to have so many different experiences and learning opportunities right there in both of those cities. And right here's another look at some it gets busy too. They have different times of the week where everybody comes out, and there's everybody coming out. Party time. And so that's one, that was in Rio. And then here's inside of a favela.
Rio. And in the early 20th century, we are in a Republican time, Republican.
And so what that did, a couple of things that you saw there. So that was the first clip was where you saw the crowd, and that was in Rio. And then you saw the second shots, that was inside of some of the favelas. And so the favelas are where many of the people, when they were trying to escape the slavery and the colonization, they went up into the mountains. So you get a chance to see that and how people are living today. And then, as I said, you'll have your own cooking class, so you'll learn how to make moqueca, which is I didn't think I was going to like it, but I loved it. I had so much moqueca. Like I said, I was gaining weight by the time I left Brazil. So, all right, so let's dive into the overview of the itinerary. One other clip I want to show you. No, I'll save it. When we get to that part. All right, so let's take a look at what this itinerary is going to look like. All right, so here we go. Day 1. Rio de Janeiro, that's the day when everyone should arrive. And then you'll get a chance to unwind, depending on what time everybody comes in. And typically, and this is going to be September 1st through the 10th this year, 2025, just to let everybody know that's when it's happening. And, all right, so you arrive on day 1. Then day 2 is when you get a chance to explore Brazil, Sugarloaf Mountain, Christ Redeemer, so that's going to be a part of it. Then day 3, you do the Little Africa tour, you do the cooking class, and have that experience. Day 4 is going to the steps. That's definitely a photo. That's an Instagrammable, Facebookable moment. So you go into the heart of Rio, and then the samba show that night. You'll get to do some shopping, and then on Day 5, you'll do the favela tour. I just talked about it. And then we have this sunset boat cruise, which you're really going to like. We do throw a little bit of party in there too. That's right. We do have that. So that'll be happening on Day 5. Then hop down to Salvador in Bahia on Day 6. And then you'll go to the square. I mean, there's so much you're going to learn in Bahia. Then Day 7. And you'll continue to go to the museums, and you continue to have these. You continue to have the tours and the museums and all of that, so you can learn and really dive into the culture. And then you're going to continue and enjoying the Afro-Brazilian tour that's going to be happening, and that's diving deeper into the Salvador side of things. So remember, you're going to be seeing a lot in Rio, and then you're going to be seeing a lot in Salvador. You get the some more of Bahia, and then flying back to Rio. So you'll fly into Rio, and then you'll depart from Rio, but we'll fly back from Bahia to Rio, and then get you ready for departure on the final day. And so that's the overview. It's a 10-day experience, and that's happening. Again, it's a few months away, so you want to make sure that you take advantage of it. So let me walk you through the pricing, and just to let you know that we've made this where, because some people wonder whether or not, they say, well, do you have payment plans available? Yes, we do. And you can secure your space, even though we're getting down, it'll be here within a few months, but you can secure your space with only $199 down. So that's the thing that you want to make sure that you understand. Because for some people, they're like, I need a little bit of time to pay it off. For other people, they're like, listen, I'm ready to go. I want to see it. I want to have the experience. And so that's just to let you know, if you need the payment plan option, it is available to you for $199 now. But let's walk you through some of the pricing so you can see that. So we have a few options. We have 3 options. And so you have double occupancy per person. And just to walk you through, here it is, September 1st through the 10th, 2025, $199 down. And then if it's double occupancy, meaning 2 people in one room per person. So let me be very clear. It's per person. It is $57.99 per person. And so just to make it clear that it's a breakfast only. So breakfast, that's what is included. Breakfast is included. It does not include international airfare. So that's something that you would need to take care of. But we can refer you to our independent travel agent if you need assistance with booking your airfare. It's easy to get to Rio. It's very easy. That's one of the reasons why we chose Rio as the arrival location, because South America, Brazil, that's one of the top tourist destinations in the world. All right, so $57.99, double occupancy if you're a solo traveler, $68.99. Again, this is a 10-day experience, and then you have the child discount, $34.80. There we go, $34.80, and then you have the different payment options: Affirm, Klarna, and Afterpay, and of course Apple Pay. For those who are looking for the different options. So what you would do, if you're looking to do double occupancy per person, just keep that in mind. Sometimes, people get amnesia. Oh, you said this, you said that. No, well, let me make it very clear. Per person. And all you do is click book now. And then it asks you, obviously if you're booking for yourself, then you can continue from there. And it tells you all of the payment options up front. So if you want to pay in full, there it is. All right, there we go. Or if you want the payment options, it's the $199 down. If you want to put more down, you can. But if you are looking to extend it out, it tells you how much it is per month, and it tells you when the payments are going to come out, and it spells everything out before you check out. And then, you can go continue to check out, and it will give you a rundown. Because a lot of times folks, they're wondering, what the payment plan is, and before you check out, it will lay it out for you. We always recommend the travel insurance to protect your investment. And the reason why is because, let's say life happens between now and then, and your plans are having to change. We are getting close to it. And so that's why, we definitely want to emphasize going ahead and securing your space, and then, taking advantage of those payment options if that's something that you need. But the travel insurance, in the event that you need a refund, in the event that life happens, anything, in the event of any of that going on, then you would file a claim with your travel insurance. And we would encourage you to, we encourage you to read the terms and conditions of the policy so that you are sure that it's the correct policy for what you're looking for. We encourage you to get canceled any reason, just in case things happen. And this way, everyone, the vendors, because our vendors have a no refund policy. So because they are taking the inventory. So in other words, once we say, hey, we want to go ahead and secure these spaces, they remove those spaces from their quote unquote inventory And so they are saying, hey, listen, we want to make sure that they are saying basically they don't want to take a loss in the event of someone changing their mind. So what we say is, hey, make sure you get that travel insurance so everything is in order and you don't have to worry about that issue. So with all of that said, I did say I want to show you one more video. This is down in Salvador, and this is actually Michael Jackson in that video. He did some scenes with this particular group. Now, it's probably not the same people, but the group was in existence. So take a look at this. All right, just taking you inside just a little bit of that so you will have a chance to see, if they're out and about when we're there, you have a chance to see them playing the drums and doing their thing and all of that. So that's what's coming down the pipe. So just a quick reminder, because some people are what all is included. So to make sure it's very clear, all of our travel experiences include your hotel, you have breakfast, you have your ground transportation, and admission to all activities. So everything that's going on, you have admission to all scheduled activities. Your hotel, like I said, in Rio, it'll be the Windsor LeMay, and in Salvador, it'll be the Novotel Hotel that you will be able to, and you can obviously pull those up online and take a look and see the accommodations. So we're, again, excited for you to join us on the Sankofa experience coming up September 1st through the 10th, 2025. Time is winding down. And I tell people all the time that, Freddie was talking about Africa. Well, when you go to Brazil, you see the influence of Africa in Brazil, but you also see the indigenous influence. And that's what makes it so unique, because you see this African influence, but you also see this indigenous influence, which is right there, which rivals any colonial influence, Portuguese influence. And it was interesting. These French seem to have been getting around too. See, I didn't know the French were getting around like that. But what happened? I was in Rio, and they took me to a square, and I looked in the square, and I said, this looks like French architecture. I said, were the French here too? And the guide said, no one has ever asked me this question before. He said, but yes, the French have been here too. And this is actually French architecture. And so when he said it, it was mind blowing, because I just didn't know the French had been there. And I believe the British had tried to get in it. The British try to get everywhere. But here's what you can do, which I found that works. I started taking pictures and uploading the pictures into ChatGPT. And ChatGPT was so spot on with just taking a picture. And I would ask Chat, I said, what is this picture of? And it gave me a full breakdown. If it could identify it, it gave me a full breakdown of what I was taking a picture of. So for those who are history buffs who want to dive a little bit deeper, I was taking pictures of blocks and saying, what does this block mean? And it said, this looks like something that is located in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. It was amazing to see. So you can have some fun with that. Of course, videos and just being able to expand the knowledge base. And that's why trips like this are so important. Experiences like this are so important, because it's not just about going on a trip. It's about so much more. There's nothing like learning firsthand. There's nothing like having the experience of tasting the food and meeting the people and dispelling the myths and tearing down the walls of misinformation when you go and you have the encounter for yourself. And that's what Brazil did, and that's what we want to share with you. And we're inviting you to join us on this Sankofa experience coming up this September. All right, so Freddie, I'm sure we have some questions, and I want to be able to answer those questions. I know we covered a whole lot, but any questions that anybody might have, we definitely want to be able to answer those questions.
Yeah, so y'all can go ahead and drop your questions down in the comments. Good presentation, Brother Jay. I think you touched on everything and really articulated the feeling that we're going to get with these types of experiences. Again, September 1st through the 10th of 2025. It's coming up, but we got enough time to make sure that you have this experience. But the questions, is there any free time to self-explore?
Yes, yes, there is some free time to self-explore, and that's kind of woven into the day. So you won't have a whole free day because there's so much. Let me say this: there's so much going on in those two cities, and we wanted to make sure that you got the most for your investment. Now, I also want to make sure. No vaccinations required. So to let you know, there is an e-visa that Brazil just started implementing, and so that's and I think that's a little under $100 for that e-visa, but it's so much that we wouldn't want to take you that far, and then have you not get that. If you don't want to participate in anything, you don't have to. You can always decide, hey, I want to go do something else. Most people say, hey, I think I want to check out everything that's on the itinerary, and you can see it when you go to Sankofa Experiences. .com and you click on the link for Brazil, you'll see everything that is a part of the experience. And we just had folks over again in Morocco and Ethiopia, and they had a great time. And so the same thing is we're looking forward to that in Brazil. As a matter of fact, Freddie, I'm getting ready to head to Brazil in a few days.
Oh man, he's back.
Right, getting ready. That's right, getting ready. Crisscrossing all these continents. Again, yesterday I was in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and caught that flight over. I'm in DC now, and then in a few days I'll be heading down to Rio de Janeiro, and then Salvador as well, and then back up, and then headed back over to the continent. So it's a lot of moving around, but we're getting ready for you. That's the deal. We're getting ready for you to come and have this experience. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, definitely. Right. And man, you got me excited about the food, brother. So what is it called again? What's the dish?
Moqueca.
Moqueca.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. Let me tell you. It's fish. It's wild. This is gonna sound wild, y'all. And it's not. You're probably gonna be like, what? But it's so good. It's fish and bananas and plantains. It's like you're like, what? I said the same thing. I said, there's no way in the world fish and bananas. I'll just say that for lack of, the flavors but it was so good, man. I ate so much of that by the time of course you have your onions and your garlic and they did that thing right, man. It was so good. I can't wait to get back and get some next week. It was so good.
Yeah, you got me excited because especially after Ethiopia gave me some East Africa. Now I'm really curious about continuing eating along the African diaspora, right?
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to adding that to us. All right, so only breakfast is provided, not lunch. Also, lunch or dinner.
That's correct. It's breakfast only. Breakfast only.
Are you aware of Brazil requiring any income limits to enter or proof of income?
No, the visa process has been very smooth. So in our experience, so yeah, we haven't had any issues or anything like that, and we have a nice size group going next week.
Yes, and so as you say, but we'll keep you updated if something changes, right?
Correct.
Like, we don't control the government's decisions. Y'all know how y'all president is. So if something changes, we'll definitely be in your inbox and letting you know about that as well. So keeping you informed is part of the process. So, all right, if you're interested in joining us in Brazil, go ahead and click the link. It's just $199 down to lock in your spot. SankofaExperiences.com/travel Brazil is the URL. $68.99 for single occupancy, $57.99 double occupancy, and then $34.80 for children ages 5 to 11. So I love that. All right. Do we have any additional questions before y'all decide to go ahead and sign up? When should we apply for the e-visa?
You can do that within the week leading up to it. I would say probably do it 2 weeks out. And but again, it's a easy e-visa process. and I see another question here. Someone asked what the average cost for lunch and dinner. It really depends on how much you're going to eat, but I would say allocate $25 for each. Some people don't. You might not eat $25 worth for lunch, but you might. So if you allocate $25 for each, then you should be good to go. And let's see here. So I say, hey, what's going on, Mary? Good to see you. Let's see. The exchange rate question came up, so let's see what the exchange rate. No, tips are not included. Gratuities, we never include gratuities because because people decide the amount that they want to tip. No, the local currency. I mean, the local currency is what is preferred on a local level, makes it easier for them. But let's see. And I always encourage having a mix of currencies. And we cover all of this when we do our culture training. So just know that the real, there we are. All right. I'm just pulling this up just to see what today's rate is. All right. So it's basically 1 to 6. That's the convert $1 to 6 Brazilian reals. There we go.
All right. Any security provided?
Not well. We don't have to. In Brazil, we haven't had a need for like additional security. Brazil is we're not going to parts of Brazil and when I say parts of Brazil, we're not going to areas where you would need the additional security. So we typically go to places that are safe. And then our culture training prepares you to say, this is how you govern yourself in this particular space. And because sometimes if folks are new to international travel and they have not had any culture training, it can be very interesting. So what we do is make sure that we go over the rules for each country so that when you get there, okay, here's the deal. This is how we're going to do it. And we've been able to navigate every country well and wisely.
Yeah, and safety first, right? So like Jay was saying, it's not like we're going to any of the hotbed areas, right? So we are sticking to our path. We're going to make sure that our group is safe, but we're going to have a great experience. But when you decide to join us, right, tonight, this won't be the last time that you heard from us, right? So again, Jay is alluding to the culture training, so there'll be follow-up communication and information that's walking you through the processes, right? I did see a question, Jay. I don't know if you covered it or if I asked it, but the visa, where somebody asked, will you be doing it for them or do they do it themselves? How does that?
Yeah, you'll be doing it yourself because the information that they're asking is going to be information that is personal information to you. And so anytime there's a visa process, we have our guests take care of that themselves, and they do that directly so that all of the information is uploaded the way that it should be by you, and all the questions are properly answered by you. That's how we make sure that the visa process is done most efficiently, by making sure that you do that yourself.
Yeah. And it'll be simple. It'll be simple to walk through the process. And obviously some communication we can assist as well. So don't worry about that. Don't let that stop you. This is a great opportunity, right, to come to Brazil and see it from a different perspective or a different angle, to get the history and the culture element of it. Definitely the food, definitely the music, definitely the people. Someone says, do you have future dates for trips in Brazil? Yes, Denise, we're still working on ironing out some of those dates. But we are looking forward to September, right? I'm really looking forward to that experience. I've never been to Brazil, so I'm looking forward to having that. I'll be on this particular trip. So if you want to come and travel with us, we can definitely have some good conversations offline, of course. And a good experience, right? That always is had with these groups, right? So it's nothing like traveling with like-minded groups of people, right? We're all there for the same reasons and looking to have a phenomenal experience. So September 1st through the 10th, single occupancy $68.99, double occupancy $57.99, children occupancy ages 5 to 11, $34.80. SankofaExperiences.com/travel Brazil. Hey, the replay of this is going to go out in the morning. So you have an opportunity to share with your friends and family if you're looking to gather somebody else to occupy that room with you, right? Go ahead and you'll have that opportunity to send that to friends and family. You can go ahead and sign up as a single tonight to lock in your spot. But again, it is just $199 down. There are buy now, pay later options when you sign up. So then you can make sure that you have an extended payment plan, even above and beyond what we are offering as well. Do you ever go when Carnival is happening?
No, we don't have Carnival planned yet, but you can just rest assured that the prices would be much higher.
much different
Yeah.
experience there, right? Definitely. Wish I could have a wonderful trip. Thanks for the info. Hey, Veronica, thank you for being here. Maybe not this trip, maybe another trip, right? We understand that the stars have to align with our schedules, but these are trips of a lifetime, right? These are experiences that saving up a bunch of money won't give you, right? These are memorable experiences that you will never forget. And then really tying in our history and our culture and getting this bigger picture amongst friends, right? Amongst people that become friends over the course of the trip. Just a beautiful experience to do it with a group of individuals. Brother Jay, you got any thoughts or anything that we may have missed or you might want to cut?
Well, no, one of the things, I'm coming back from Ethiopia, and I spent most of the month of March between Ethiopia and Morocco. And I say that because I watch how people transform. And I watch some of the hurdles, mental hurdles that they had to overcome to get there. Sometimes family and friends weren't being supportive because, they heard all these different things. This is what I heard. This is what I heard. And then when they got there, they were like, well, what is this? This is nothing like what I heard. And that's how it is pretty much in every country that we go to. If there are any safety concerns that we're aware of, then we take that into consideration. And if we're not looking to go to places that are unsafe. So that's the first thing. But we also live in America. So anyway, that's a whole other conversation. That's all Freddie like, yeah. So if you can live in America, you can definitely travel to Brazil. You can, with no problem, depending on where you live in the U.S. Safety is always first, and then your comfort, and then you having a great time. And then tomorrow's not promised. That's the one thing I tell everybody, is that if I would have waited in 2019 to travel to Brazil, to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, to do some of the different things I did in 2019, waiting for everybody else to co-sign, waiting for everything to be perfect for me to go, then that would have pushed me back 5 years. Because when the pandemic came in 2020, that meant travel shut down. That just moved everything back. But because I knew in 2019 I was supposed to go do those things, as a matter of fact, I brought in the new year. I went from 2019 to 2020, and I was in Salvador in Brazil. So it was like that gave me the foundation to be. Took that picture on that trip in Brazil with the gentleman who looked like we could be related to each other. So sometimes we're thinking, all right, I'll get to it later, and then before we know it, later comes and goes, and then we still haven't made a move. And so what I see on these experiences are people who say, you know what, I needed to do it now. And I felt like I wanted to do it. I didn't overthink it, and I pulled the trigger and I made it happen. And then they had the experience, and then it unlocked the door for them to go to the next place. That's why we've seen people travel 3 and 4 times as a part of the Sankofa experiences, because they had one encounter. They might have gone to Egypt, then they might have gone to Ghana. We've seen people do back-to-back trips. They might have gone to South Africa. They might have gone to Senegal. Now you have folks who've been to Morocco. They're like, what's next? Where am I going next? That was a question last week. Where am I going next? Okay, what's the next trip? And so that's the thing that happens, and then you form these friendships and these bonds, and then you get around people who are thinking a particular way and they were willing to get outside of the box. And so that's what the invitation is for you to take advantage of now. Yeah, September is right around the corner, but for some people that's now. They're saying this is the trip that I'm supposed to be on. What if there are no more trips? I would have just missed it. Some people say no, that's not what they want. They want to make sure they take advantage of the opportunities when they come, because they don't know if the opportunities are going to come again. And then with some of the uncertainty that people are feeling in the States, they're like, you know what, let me just make sure I do what I need to do now, because if I keep waiting around, I don't know what's going to happen. And then people are exploring other places, opportunities to live, all of that. You just don't know what's going to happen until you step out of the box for yourself and see for yourself. So if you want to join us, come on and join us. We look forward to seeing you in Brazil, September 1st through the 10th, 2025.
I love it. I love it. And Mary said, yeah, this trip sounds wonderful and intriguing. Yes, travel while you can, go and enjoy, and you have your health, right? Yeah, definitely. Now it's better than later. Tomorrow's not promised. I love how you always bring that home to us all, right? Like we don't know what the future is for us, so we may as well take advantage of the opportunity of enjoying it right now. You will not regret traveling, right? What the regrets that you will have is not having that experience that you always wanted. So if Brazil is calling, right? If this opportunity is calling you, then come on and let's make it happen. Click the link, sankofaexperiences.com/travel Brazil. Come and have this experience with us. I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to dive into the food. But I am interested in this Yoruba history, right? Because after that, we're going to Nigeria, where the Yoruba are. So I'm looking forward to that connection. But last year, Brother Jay, we were in Cuba together.
That's right.
And there's a strong Yoruba influence there as well. So these travel adventures, you start to put the history together yourself, there's no middleman, right? There's no filter between the places that we're traveling, the people that we're meeting, the connections, the guides, the historians. There's no one standing in the middle telling us what we seeing ain't what we seen.
That's right. No gaslighting.
Yeah, no gaslighting us, right? So we are literally getting that information and that history. And then the things that you're reading and studying and learning about, you get an opportunity to ask directly, right? Again, no middleman, no filter. And that's one thing about these trips that have been excellent. We were just in Ethiopia, like Jay's talking about last month, and getting an opportunity while in Lalibela, inside of the rock churches, asking specific questions about things that we're seeing. I ain't gonna give it away, y'all. Asking specific questions while standing in front of the historical information, and getting that answered is something else. But if y'all were in Lalibela in that rock church, it was a good one. All right, Mary, say I'm booked for Ivory Coast and Nigeria. Yeah, I'm really excited about that as well, Mary. So I'll be on that one too, Brother Jay. So when we get there, Mary,
Freddie just breaking out the mold now. He got his wings. He's doing his thing.
Yeah. I already been looking at flights. I'm normally a last-second flight guy, right? I'm looking at
bug has bitten Freddie.
Yeah. But it's just so beautiful to connect with the global African community, right? They lying, if you have never traveled the African diaspora, they lying about who we are, and how we interact with one another. They are lying, and you know who the hell I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, and they are on the planes going to visit, and they are there building their dreams. We're afraid to go, and they're living their best life. I was going to Kenya, and I was in the queue, and I was the only person in the queue with melanin in my skin going to Kenya. Black Kenya. I'm the only person. I said to myself, you know what? I said, they're hijacking our minds, and they're instilling fear and disinformation, misinformation, and we're believing it. And we're thinking that, America's the best place and safest place in the world. And then you go to these places, you're not worried about carjackings and drive-by shootings and mall shootings and school shootings and all of that. You're sitting there just enjoying your beverages and your food and walking around. And that's what just happened in Ethiopia. Everybody was like, oh man, Ethiopia is all poor and sick and dying and everything. And they drove through Addis Ababa and saw all those buildings going up everywhere. They were like, well, what's happening here? Looking like New York City. And so that's what I'm saying. We have to take responsibility for cleansing our minds and really understanding what's going on around us. And I got on those planes, man, and I saw them folks on the planes going. I just said, and we're afraid to go. And it's like the you put a chain on an animal around their neck, put them on time to a tree. And if they're tied to the tree and they walk around and they try to move away, and every time the chain holds them, eventually you can take that chain from around their neck and they will know to stay in place. They will know, this is where I'm going to stay. This is where I'm supposed to be, because guess what? This tree and this chain has told me that this is safety, when in actuality, safety and freedom and liberation comes from breaking free from that and seeing for themselves. But again, if somebody's afraid to go do it, then the mission has been accomplished. And that's why we have these experiences, not only so we can educate ourselves, but so we can liberate ourselves, we can free ourselves, because guess what? Nobody's going to come and do it for us. And I've seen Mary, so I know you've been on a few of these trips, or a couple of them at least. And so you understand, and more people are starting to understand, because they're saying they're going to liberate themselves and go and see, and we expand as people. And that's up to us to do. Nobody's going to do it for us.
Yeah. And you're going to thank yourself for it.
Yes.
Definitely thank yourself for it.
Yes, you will.
I have a connection with the global African community, but it wasn't until I started to go see them, meeting them and talking to them and eating the foods and listening to the music and hearing the stories and reconnecting, that it just kind of hits differently. And that's why I'm looking forward to this Brazil trip, right? I've never been to South America, so this would be my first opportunity to get down there and to start reconnecting and putting together more of the puzzle, right? I always talk about the global African community, right? The African diaspora, and not necessarily just locking ourselves down into one landmass. And I love the conversation of, no, I'm not talking about giving up nothing, right? But I also don't want to give up my right to traverse the world, to have those experiences, to invest in the globe, right? But sometimes it takes an investment in self to go see it and break down a lot of those borders in your mind, right? This captivity that they're putting on us, really. But yeah, let's break it. Let's break the chains, right? Let's break away from the shackles of fear that's been put out there, and these bogus warnings about traveling to these whole countries, right? That's what y'all president calls them anyway.
Oh yeah,
it's a beautiful opportunity for us to go reconnect and continue to grow. Christine, if you click that link I gave you, the calendar, then she's interested in Nigeria.
Okay,
then you can
excellent.
Click that.
I think we lost you there, Freddie. I think you hit mute.
Don't know what happened.
There we
All right,
go.
I would say, Sister Ashley, can you reach out to Christine Rogers? She's interested in Nigeria, which is later in the month, right? Late September, early October 2025. But today we're talking about Brazil. So do you have any other questions for us? Or if you're ready to sign up, you can just go ahead and click the link, sankofaexperiences.com/travel. Oh, I put up the travel calendar. There we go. /travel Brazil. There we go. And then you have an opportunity to go ahead and sign up again. Just $199 locks in your spot. And then, $199 locks in your spot, $52.99 double occupancy, $61.99 single occupancy. Oh, that might be a little low. Hold on, I'm reading it wrong. There we go. $57.99. See, we should have joined earlier. It was more affordable, right? $57.99 double occupancy, $68.99 single occupancy, and $34.80 for children ages 5 to 11. There we go. Thank you, Ashley, for dropping all of that. All right. Going once, going twice. You can let us know if you have any questions. You can raise your Zoom hand.
Yeah, I see. Michael had a question. Are there only certain routes of flight to Brazil that we take? You have many flight options going into Rio. Rio is one of the top tourist destinations in the world. So I know last time I went, I flew United out of Houston, and it's about a 10-hour flight. So United out of Houston took me right into Rio, and then first time I went, I caught Miami on Latam Airlines. That's Brazil's airline. They're like their major airline carrier. Flew that into Sao Paulo. I was going to Salvador, so that was a whole different direction. You'll be going into Rio. So, but you can catch Latam into Rio. I'm sure if you type in Google Flights, you'll be able to find a lot of flights going right into GIG. That's the airport code, GIG, G-I-G.
Excellent, excellent. He said, thank you.
You're very welcome.
In my inbox, but yeah, so, all right. So you know how when you travel to Ethiopia, we're going to South Africa or whatever, we pretty much leave the day before in order to land the day of. What are your thoughts on this trip? Is it similar?
Yep. I would recommend that because it is a long flight. It's about if you're leaving from Miami or Houston, it's about the same distance from flying to Ghana. So it's about a 10-hour flight. Yeah. Everybody thinks, oh, Brazil's right there down in the. Yeah, I got on that plane. I was like, oh, I said, okay, this is not like flying to Cuba. So no, it's about a 10-hour flight, but you'll be fine. You know, I tell people I was in Addis Ababa yesterday and we flew to Rome, but we stayed on the plane. It was a layover in Rome, and then from Rome, right into DC. And hey, you know, I got jet lag right now. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning in my mind. It's 9:18 here, but in my mind and body, it is 4:18 in the morning. But you know what? Yeah, you do it. Someone asked the question: do we assign roommates? No, we do not assign roommates for liability reasons. I know some people do that, but you know, I've just seen some scenarios where what if you all aren't compatible? What happens if there's somebody misrepresented themselves and it turns into an issue? So we try to streamline things as much as possible from an administrative standpoint, so everybody so the experiences can flow smoothly. But if you are looking for a roommate, what we say is that you can put your email address in, and somebody, while we're doing the chat right now, you can put it, hey, I'm looking for a roommate, and then you all can make the connection with each other. We're not facilitating it, but we're giving you the opportunity to put it out there if that's something that you would like to do. So that's how we handle that.
Can they sign up as a single and then add somebody later?
Yes, you can. So you sign up as a single, and then you can add someone later, and then we'll change that to the double occupancy once you have your roommate, and once your roommate signs up.
Yeah. So there you go, Michael. So like if you would sign up for a single for now, and then if your roommate signs up, then you'll be transferred to a double. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Let me know if you have any other questions. You could drop it down there, or okay, Sig. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's good. And then again, brother, so you could go ahead and lock your spot in tonight. And then in the morning, we'll send out the replay. So if you want to share that with friends and family or whomever else that you were thinking about, you can add them to you later. Same with B. Thompson, right? Yeah, so that information will go out in the morning, but y'all can go ahead and grab your spot. Again, September 1st through the 10th of 2025 is when we're having this Brazilian experience, right? So we are going to go and see the history and culture and the people of Brazil, taste the foods, dance to some of the music. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good and exciting time. Yeah, there we go. 1st through the 10th are the dates. Single occupancy, $68.99, $57.99. Double occupancy, $34.80. Children 5 to 11. You can lock in your price again, just $199. SankofaExperiences.com/travel Brazil. If you have any additional questions before we get off of here, or later you think of something, you can always email us at support@sankofaexperiences.com. That's support@sankofaexperiences.com. Sister Ashley, who is our travel coordinator, she'll follow up with you. Brother Jay, any last thoughts or comments before we let you go get some rest this morning?
Yeah, this morning. Hey, listen, I tell everybody this. Do it now. Even though I got the jet lag and all of that coming from halfway across the world, I would not trade this for anything. And we want to share these experiences with you. So we look forward to you joining us in Brazil, or you may see some other place on the link that you want to join. But whatever you do it now. And just remember, tomorrow is not promised.
Yeah, definitely. Tomorrow's not promised. I appreciate you, Brother Jay. Again, come on to it. Come on to Brazil with us. I will be on that trip. So I'm really looking forward to connecting with our people and building and having this experience. I love the message. Tomorrow's not promised. So come on and have the experience with us today. So sankofaexperiences.com/travel Brazil. Look for the replay in the morning. Hey, for Brother Jay, Sister Ashley, who's working in the background. Thank you, sister. We always appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Hopefully, we will see you in Brazil in September. So thank you again, everybody. Appreciate you. Till next time, love, peace, and power to the people. All right. Good evening, everyone. All right. Thank you, Brother Jay. Appreciate you as usual.
All right. Thank you, sir.